Just letting you guys know you can listen to my No Bleeps podcast anywhere you stream podcasts or on my No Bleeps YouTube channel. Link in the description. Hey guys, it's Spilly and welcome back to Spill Sesh. Today we are talking about Jeffree Star, and honestly we used to talk about Jeffree a lot, and then ever since last year, ever since all the drama between him and Shane, he's really stayed out of some drama. I mean, seriously, in the last couple of months we haven't really been talking about him since he's been laying low. He's been on a break, but obviously Jeffree had to come back eventually, and he is making some headlines again because he went on the BFFs podcast with Dave Portnoy and Josh Richards and Brianna. If you guys look at the comments, people are genuinely happy to see Jeffree, and I honestly have not seen this in a very long time. Like, positive comments towards Jeffree, kind of unheard of. A lot of people were praising Jeffree and saying that this was one of his best interviews yet, and I definitely do think that Jeffree was very comfortable in this interview, and I think it was mostly because Dave Portnoy and Josh Richards did not really know who Jeffree was. So they weren't going to be asking like these hard-hitting questions like, this insider article says this, and this, like, can you comment on that? They were not bringing stuff like that up. But you could tell that they didn't really know kind of where the line was, because Josh was mentioning James's name as an old friend group of Jeffree's.
That's with James.
No, that was with Manny, Laura, and that whole thing.
Okay.
Dave was asking him why he was even canceled in the first place and asking if he really did do crazy things.
Well, I have done some. Yeah, I've said some crazy, done some crazy, and I've made amends with that. But I think to keep mentioning it every 6 months, it's really old.
And Jeffree basically says in this interview, he'll kind of break down how things went. He says that he feels like he's an internet cockroach and that he's literally uncancelable. He says that people bring up stuff from his past all the time and that he has done crazy stuff. Like, he has admitted that his past is not good, but he keeps it moving, and he is back from this break that he recently just went on. And they were discussing kind of him and Shane getting booted off the internet. Jeffree really does hone in on the fact that he does keep coming back after every single scandal that he's really ever gotten in, because he has people that work for him and he can't really just let it all go. He has this business, he needs to run this business and pay his employees. So he can't just like go away like Shane has gone into hiding for over a year now. I mean, literally last year when all the stuff was going down, he literally came back a month later with a video of him on the couch. The thing about this podcast is because Dave and Josh did not know Jeffree and they don't really know him that well, at least they don't know why he was getting called out for these things in the past. It was because it was honestly so shocking to people. A lot of people were learning about this last year for the very first time, especially with Shane as well. There were tons of people that at the beginning of last year had just fallen in love with Jeffree and Shane. I mean, we're coming out of the tail end of the series that they just did. Everybody is obsessed with them, obsessed with their makeup. Everybody is like running to the Morphe store trying to buy the conspiracy palette. And then all of a sudden, you know, there's things that people are noticing from their past, because obviously when there's a spotlight on you, people are going to look and see if there's something going on. And honestly, there were things coming out about Jeffree that people were like, Shane, why are you still hanging out with him? And then people started to look into Shane and be a little skeptical. And then obviously Tati comes out with her video saying that basically Jeffree and Shane manipulated her into making Bai's sister, and everyone was just like, wait a minute, Shane is capable of manipulation, and Jeffree and all this stuff. And obviously just kind of went downhill from there once Shane posted that like paragraph talking about James Charles and all of this stuff. The past just exploded, and everyone was very, very upset and disturbed at both Jeffree and Shane for separate pasts and honestly things that they had recently done. People at the time last year felt like they ruined James Charles' career for no reason other than like they were jealous of him and their pal was going to come out. Like, that was what was going on. That was really it. And the things that were coming out from their past, people felt like they were literally unforgivable. Like, they were so disturbed that they could never get past what they had posted and felt like they couldn't come back from that at all. And obviously Shane has yet to come back, but apparently he's in the works of it, which is something that Jeffree brings up in this video, saying that Shane and him still hang out. They had recently hung out before Shane and Ryland went to Mexico. And Jeffree says that there's no definitive date as to when Shane is going to be coming back, but he is going to be making a return.
Do you know when he's coming back? Is he coming back? I saw something posted, I thought.
Yeah, like I think that he's worked so hard and had such a long career. He's not just gonna throw away his YouTube channel.
Right.
He's had so much success. So he's working on things, but there's no definitive date of like, he's coming back in the fall.
And then like obviously they get a little weird talking about Shane getting booted off of the internet and kind of trying to summarize it. It definitely wasn't like a detailed description of everything that went down.
What happened?
It's so much. Bringing back the past and making it, trying to seem like it's all relevant at the same time.
It was like videos from 2008 on YouTube and stuff like that.
So basically,
old videos.
Yeah, there was a time when everybody
some like
was
weird
getting,
stuff going on in the video, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. There was
fucked
weird
for it.
things, jokes that aren't funny.
Yeah. The biggest thing was with the Will Smith family, I think.
Yeah.
It was him talking about Will
Those are my
Smith's
neighbors.
daughter.
Jeffree mentions that he did lose millions of followers last year, but his brand ended up killing it. Like he's saying that his brand made tons of money because people that hate him still love his makeup. Even though there was like the whole TJ Maxx thing. But anyways, he says that his brand was still killing it despite obviously being dropped from morphine. Then they hit him with this Nikita Dragon question, which honestly came out of left field. I think this was so random and was not expecting this, and I don't think he was either. But they said that they had recently had Nikita Dragon on an episode of BFFs, and she had told them while on the podcast that she doesn't like Jeffree Star. And she didn't say exactly what happened, but says that he did like cross a line and she doesn't think that they need to be friends. And Jeffree says that they haven't seen each other in years and starts talking about the first Dramageddon with Laura and Manny. And oh my gosh, it was like a blast from the past hearing about this drama. I mean, oh my goodness, you guys.
Right before Nikita Dragon, when we said you're coming up. What's there?
Is there something there?
She doesn't love you.
Okay. Why not?
That's what it
I
said.
have no idea. We asked.
Her
She's
words,
like,
her words,
yeah,
some
her
people
words,
don't
not
need
ours.
to be friends.
Yeah, and then
That's
she's like,
what she said.
and she said, ask you.
You crossed a line, and she didn't say what it was, but there was a line crossed, and she thinks you don't need to be friends anymore. Some people aren't meant to
But
be
didn't
friends.
give us any more.
I mean, I can respect that. I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah.
And
So-
she said that.
Yeah.
So how did you guys know each other? Like what?
Just
what's the
being
story
in
there?
the beauty world, having similar friends, and then our similar friends really backstabbed me, and then it exploded into the biggest beauty drama on the planet years ago.
That's
and
with
then,
like James. And
No, that was with Manny, Laura, and that whole thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
the internet labeled it Dramageddon.
And then Jeffree ends up saying that he is the one that gave Nikita a little push in the beginning of her career, helped her out, but they aren't friends anymore. Like they don't need to be friends. Oh my God. Like they run in different circles. Oh my goodness. A mess. And then Josh throwing out James's name in there. Honestly, hearing someone talk about James in front of Jeffree is just like so interesting, because I feel like usually if Jeffree were to do an interview, they'd probably be like, that topic is off the table. But I feel like they were just kind of asking him a bunch of random things and he was honestly letting them. This was a very interesting watch, to be honest with you. But after this, he then talked about how he used to like play into drama and get a little attention out of it and use the Kanye situation, for example, saying that he did tweet out about like Sunday service when everybody was speculating whether or not him and Kanye were hooking up, because that was a big rumor because he was in Wyoming, Kanye was in Wyoming, they both live in Calabasas. There was cheating rumors of Kanye cheating on Kim. People were wondering if he was cheating with Jeffree Star, which the whole thing is just freaking insane. But Jeffree admitted to like playing into these things for attention. But I mean, we all knew that.
Maybe the Kanye talk about that. That's funny.
Oh my God.
True.
That it is funny.
That
It's-
people say
Did
guys
you
hooked
hook up with Kanye?
He
Absolutely not.
unequivocally
You
says
trolled
no.
it though, and you fed into it.
Yeah,
little bit.
only
It was
because when
awesome.
for a day, and then I was like, this is actually, I didn't know it was gonna be so big.
So
if
funny.
people are gonna think this, whatever, I'll play into it.
He then talks about Andre. If you guys remember, he had this guy that he was hanging out with for some time, Andre, and then all of a sudden one day he said that Andre had robbed him. A lot of people felt like this was all a fake like distraction in order to cover up for, I believe, an Inside article that was coming out about him. And so instead people were talking about this robbery instead of focusing on this Insider article that was coming out about Jeffree. And he says that he actually is cool with Andre now and that everything is fine. They're friends, which What the heck?
This ex, you aired he robbed you, he used you.
Yeah, you know what's funny? We're cool now.
You
Who is
are?
this?
Yeah, I think that forgiveness is really important. I think the old me was so bitter and didn't want to ever accept sorries. But if I wanted people to forgive me, how can I not forgive others?
Oh my God, you guys, this is crazy. But I mean, I guess good for them. Oh my God. He basically wrapped up the entire podcast episode by saying that he worked on himself over his break and he's like not going to be the same Jeffree that like claps back on Twitter anymore. But I don't know. Have you guys seen Jeffree clap back on Twitter recently? I feel like that's his like favorite place to still clap back, even if he doesn't make YouTube videos clapping back at people anymore. I guess we'll see. Let me know what you guys think about everything that I talked about today. Did you guys watch this interview? What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.